Day 2.
Day 2, bitches.
Day 2, event 1. We're doing well so far. The thing about Hanoi is it's actually pretty crazy in terms of the traffic. There are bikes absolutely everywhere. When you're trying to cross the road, it feels like you're in a real life game of Frogger and that you could die at any point. I also think you can work out how long people have been here by how long it actually takes them to cross the road. The longer it takes, the less time they've been here, because everyone knows that you've just got to literally walk and hope for the best.
Previously on YouTube's The Drawing Dead.
Traveling to Ho Chi Minh today for a couple of weeks to play in the World Poker Tour. Got all the luggage on our backs, nice cheeky 2-hour flight, but we've got to walk through the maze that is Vietnam first. We've made it to Ho Chi Minh City. We are now on our way to the apartment, staying with, interestingly, a person who messaged me on Instagram a few months ago, told me about the World Poker Tour here in Vietnam, and now he's staying with us. So we've got a 2-bed apartment, about a 5-minute walk away from the poker club. Going to go and register, get my membership card, see what's up, see what the club is looking like, and the grind begins tomorrow. 2 weeks of poker tournaments. Hopefully we can win at least one, maybe 2. It is tournament day, first day of the WPT Vietnam. We've got our friend Jay playing the first tournament together. It's a DEEPSTACK 2-day event. Hopefully we'll make day 2, both of us together. We've got a little bit of swap action, so if I bust, we're gonna be sweating Jay.
We're not gonna bust.
We're not gonna bust. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. We got it. We'll see you there. We've made a day 2 first event that we've played. It was about a €260 buy-in. There was 88 that started. There are 18 left. Both me and Jay, we've made day 2. He's coming in. There he is. Day 2! It is also my birthday, so hopefully I can have a nice birthday present, make a final table. The average stack is about 24 big blinds, and I've got about average stack, so it's a bit of a crapshoot. Gonna be lots of going all in, gonna be lots of flipping, gonna need to win a few flips to make that final table. But we are starting in about 2 hours, and we're pumped and we're ready to go. Let's get that first trophy.
Day 2, bitches.
Day 2, event 1. We're doing well so far. Just in time.
Let's do it. Come on, queen. Come on, queen. Come on. Queen.
Yes. Go ahead.
I came 8th out of 88 for around about $800. Good deep run for the first one. I ran ace king into aces all in pre-flop for about 11 big blinds. What can you do? It is tournament poker. Pretty much the average stack when we started the final table was about 13 bigs, so it was pretty short stacked. Jay came third though, so well done to Jay. He scored a nice win. The second event I played, which I also played yesterday, was a DEEPSTACK Turbo. It was a one-day event. I came in 12th out of 63 players. Top 8 paid, so I just missed out on the money. Today I am going to spend the day with Alice. We're going to get some food and then I'm going to play another event this evening. I pretty much have one event to play every single day that I'm here in Vietnam. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can make another deep run. Hopefully I can make another final table and potentially win one of those lovely WPT Vietnam trophies. Alright, let's go get some food. It is day one of the WPT Vietnam main event. I've played about 5 tournaments so far, come pretty close to running quite deep. I've come 8th out of 88 in a DEEPSTACK Turbo. I've come 12th out of about 65 when 8 were paid. Last night I came 19th out of 92 when 13 were paid. And I've had a couple of other semi-deep runs as well. Nothing's quite stuck, but I've got some good practice in for the main event, which kicks off today. We've got 2 bullets. Hopefully we can run it up in one of those bullets. First place last time was about 100k USD, so hopefully it'll be about the same this time round. But let's get it. It is our second bullet to fire the main event today. I think I made one mistake in the main event, which was my bust out hand for day 1A, which I will go through at some point. Yesterday I played a mixed max tournament. It was 9 players for day 1, 6 players for day 2. I had 4s in the small blind off about 18k. The blinds are 100, 200, 200 big blind ante. The button, kind of a fairly recreational player. He opens to 600. I flat 4s in the small blind and the big blind comes along as well. The flop comes king, king, 4. And it was my bust out hand. There you go, that's the kind of way we've been running. Today is day 1C of the main event, the last day to enter the main event. They think they're going to surpass the entries that they had last year, which was about 660. We're going to fire again today. Hopefully it will stick. If not, we've still got another 5 or 6 bullets to fire. Hopefully we can make another deep run at least one event so we can get some good vlog footage. But if not, then at least we can show you what it's like to be a tournament grinder and go and brick a tournament series and end up losing money. It's the way with poker. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and it's how you deal with that. I think personally I've been dealing with it quite well. It's been quite nice to come back to the apartment to see Alice after I bust. She makes me feel a lot better. She's always there giving me a hug, making me feel like it doesn't really matter. There's much more important things in life that matter than busting a poker tournament. Alice's lovely cake that she bought me for my birthday turned out to be not exactly as lovely as we once thought.
Sweet corn in the cake. Who put sweet corn in a cake? Seriously.
Alright, so the main event didn't go too well yesterday. I had a pretty good spot with pocket 8s early on. I had about 100 bigs. I raised under the gun to 600 at 100, 200 with a 21k starting stack. quite a loose recreational player under the gun +1. He flats off about 10k starting stack, and then a very, very loose recreational player jams 4.2k for about 21 bigs. Folds back to me, and I think a GTO here is probably to fold, but against the recreational fish, I assumed he would shove all pocket pairs, so obviously I'm ahead of the 2 through 7s, and also I think he shoves a lot of ace-X, so I'm ahead of quite a lot of ace-X as well. So I decided to rejam. I didn't think under the gun +1 really had much. He didn't have much, but when I rejammed, under the gun +1 quite loudly exclaimed, "Okay, gamble, gamble," and called off his stack. 50 big blinds he called off, and he had king queen offsuit. The other guy had ace 10 offsuit, so I was up against 4 overcards, but the flop came 8, 9, 6. Beautiful. Turn was a 7, and the river was a 10. Chop chop. So that wasn't exactly ideal, and after that I didn't really make many hands, blinding down, and eventually I got it in with king 10 of clubs for about 10 big blinds. King queen offsuit calls me, flop comes 9 jack queen, and yeah, that was my bust out hand, and I flopped the nut straight. Anyway, after that I entered the high roller satellite. It was a 7.7 million Vietnamese dong entry for the 50 million high roller that's playing over the next couple of days, and we won a seat, so that was pretty good. 5 people got a seat from 40 players. It was ridiculous how short stack everyone was on the bubble. I think all of us had about 2 to 5 big blinds, so it was really, really short stack. I managed to hold on, managed to get my seat, so I'm playing that tomorrow. I just want to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a tournament grinder and how it can be difficult. I'm by no means an experienced tournament grinder. I haven't really played many festivals before, but it can be quite tough mentally to consistently play a lot of tournaments and not actually cash. I think I've cashed in 2 tournaments that I've played over the space of about 9 or 10 at the moment. Generally they say about 20% I think is a good number to be cashing in tournaments. So that does mean 80% of the time you're coming home disappointed if you perceive it that way. I think I'm quite used to being rejected, as it were, having come from an acting background where statistically you only get about 10% of the auditions you go for, so 9 times out of 10 I'm told no when I'm trying to get a job. So I'm quite used to not actually winning or getting what I want out of something, and that I think has helped me as a poker player over time develop this resilience. I do believe it also prevents me from feeling enough emotion at times though. I have to be very shut off emotionally, otherwise it can affect me too much, especially when I'm around Alice. So I find myself kind of being a little bit like a robot when I play these festivals. I try and live day by day, not try and allow the emotional swings to affect me too much or affect my decisions at the table. And it is quite nice to come home to Alice where I can re-engage my emotions, as I certainly try and disconnect them away at the poker table. But today is a new day, another shot at winning a tournament. We always have a shot, so let's try and take this one down. I don't actually have much time this morning, but we did make day 2 of the high roller yesterday. There's 60 players left, 27 are paid, I think about 220 entered. First place is about 125k USD. So I've got another good shot at winning some big money today. I feel pretty good. I don't have much time, like I said earlier, so I do have to make this quite short, but I did go on an absolute insane heater for about 1 hour last night. I had about 70k to start the hour, and by the end of the hour I had about 650k, so I nearly 10x'd my stack in an hour. It was just unbelievable how hot I ran. After that I bled down a little bit. I had a pretty tough reg on my table that I got in 2 interesting spots with that I'll cover later, but I bagged up 443k, which I think is about 44 big blinds, 43 big blinds, something like that. So feeling pretty good. The field is pretty tough now, there's a lot of regs in it. Obviously it's the high roller for Vietnam, so all the best regs are in it, but I'm feeling confident about my game. I'm gonna do a little bit of meditation this morning. You can probably hear that there is some nice fish nearby and kind of a little water feature that's kind of relaxing, so I'm gonna close my eyes, do some meditation, do some visualization, and hopefully turn this into a good score.
It's a great honour, and it's also a great privilege to come visit once again your wonderful Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City. Thank you very much for your program as well. It's a beautiful place.
So the trip in Vietnam has finally come to an end. Unfortunately, we bust the high roller, 36 out of 215 players, 27 were in the money. Second hand of the day, I got pocket nines under the gun. Started the hand with about 45 big blinds. I min opened a decent reg under the gun +1. He jams for 10 big blinds. We call it off and we're up against ace king and we lose. That left us with about 20 to 25 big blinds with about 40 people to go. I found ace queen offsuit in mid position. I had 15 big blinds and I decided to jam. Big blind wakes up with aces and that was all she wrote. I think I've been talking to a few friends actually about the ace queen hand, and it's interesting because I come from a sit and go background. It's pretty much a mandatory shove in a sit and go with 15 bigs. But I think in MTTs, especially when you're getting closer to the money, there's alternative ways to play this. Apparently there was a guy called Paul G's who folded ace queen offsuit a few years ago in the World Series of Poker main event with about 14-15 people to go. So it's an interesting thing that I'd never really thought about, and there's certainly a lot of things I'm going to take away from this tournament festival with regards to what things I need to work on going ahead. I think my biggest leak over this festival was playing hands that had decent showdown value a bit too aggressively when I can just call rather than raise. But anyway, the trip itself wasn't a fantastic trip in terms of cash. We did lose a fair bit of money, but I did have at least 4 decent shots at making a deep run. I made one final table where I lost ace king to 10-9. I missed the money by 4 in one tournament. I missed the money by 6 in one tournament where I ran ace king into 7s twice and lost. And then finally in the high roller I came 36th out of 215, like I said earlier. That was a tough one to stomach. First place was about 125,000 USD, and obviously that would be some big money for me right now and would be really nice. But I've come away from this festival hungry. I want to play more, especially more tournaments. I'm going to play obviously both cash and tournaments as I travel around, and actually after this vlog I am literally jumping on a bus to drive to Cambodia to grind the cash games there for a month, and then me and Alice are going to chill for about 6 weeks before I head over to Vegas to play the World Series of Poker. I really cannot wait for that. I've had a great festival here. I'm looking already to do more festivals in Asia. I think I might go to Manila in September. They've got the APT, the Asian Poker Tour, and then I might come back to Vietnam in November for the Asian Poker League. But for now, that's the end of this vlog for WPT Vietnam. I hope you've enjoyed the slightly limited footage I've had. It's still a bit funny recording in these casinos where I'm not sure on the legality of it all. But I did try to get a few shots and I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoy this very honest take into what it's like being a tournament grinder on a tournament circuit and not always winning. Alright, I'll see you next time.